All right, I'm hanging out with my pal Tommy Rant right here. What's up? Now, I heard a little rumor from Strictly Business, Brandon Beretta, that you snore.
What?
That's what he told me.
First off, if that bus is paying attention to me while I'm sleeping, that ain't strictly business. That's strictly weird.
That is kind of weird, right?
I ain't about that. Where'd you hear that from? Him? Her?
From him.
Her. Yeah. Listen, Buster. Listen, Chooch. You got my number. You know the time. Slime time.
Careful, Brandon Beretta is really good at suplexing big fat asses, so he might get you back, but you've been losing weight, so.
You look great.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, thank you, Tommy Red, and Slimeball Sage over there.
They call me Dank, the lyrical titan. Stepping in the ring, spitting fire, igniting. From the square circle to the booth, I'm dominant. Unbreakable spirit, call me the king, I'm prominent. Beyond the barricade, the podcast bumping. Real talk, no gimmicks, ain't no time for slumping. Grinding day and night, always something to prove. Elevating the game, that's the Dank move. Mic check 1, 2, this ain't no illusion. Dropping truth bombs, causing a commotion. From the canvas to the charts, I'm climbing. Champion mindset, always shining. Resolute, run deep, instilled the fight. Never back down, always standing upright. In the ring or on the track, same intensity. Delivering knockout blows lyrically. 1, 2, this ain't no illusion. Dropping truth bombs, causing a commotion. From the canvas to the charts, I'm climbing. Champion mindset, always shining.
Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I'm your host, Papa Dank, and today I have a very special guest. Let me bring to you the one, the only, let me get this working, Bryce Hansen, everybody. Give it up for Bryce. How you doing, brother?
Good, you?
I'm doing great today. Let everybody know where you're coming from.
Awesome. I'm up here in the great wide north of Ontario, Canada.
That is awesome. I'm coming from Long Island, New York, and I've been to Canada when I was a kid, which was like a long time ago. But I loved it there. I love it there.
Great place.
Yeah, I remember going to a museum, and I was a big Batman fan at the time as a kid, and there was like a Batman and Robin statue. I was like, "Yo, this is cool."
Sweet.
I know. Let's not talk about that. Let's just go into what's going on with you. Let's talk about, before we talk about Chosen, let's talk about how you fell in love with professional wrestling.
Well, I had a different entry into professional wrestling than most people because I wasn't really like a big fan when I was a kid growing up, surprisingly. But like, bits and pieces you'd always catch like the things that would scar you and when it was the uh Attitude Era and that sort of thing with like Brian Pillman with the gun and Stone
Oh
Cold
man.
and that sort of thing. But yeah, I didn't really get into wrestling until I started training. I started training when I was about 16, between 16, 17, and with Tyson Dukes, who he was a big independent guy up here in Canada, and
Okay.
didn't really do much more other than that, but trained with him, and he was a real reputable trainer for guys up here, and started getting booked, did well in training, loved training, and then I fell in love with the art of professional wrestling.
That's awesome. Who along the way mentored you to where you are
Um,
now?
Well, we were speaking before we hopped on.
Yeah.
You mentioned Sonny. Sonny's been a really big help to me. Sonny Ono has been a great help to me just with everything to do with the business aspect of professional wrestling. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, a lot of the Canadian wrestlers that, go on to do WWE and TNA and those
Okay.
sorts of companies really like to help out the young talent. So Eric Young has helped me out a lot. He's in TNA right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
Scott Demore, Josh Alexander, those two pop into my mind.
Okay.
Um, a lot of people have had a hand in making me who I am. It's hard to narrow it down.
That's awesome. A lot of good mentorship. What was the best advice that you take with you still to this day
Um,
that someone gave you out
just
of all those?
be a good person. You have two ears and one mouth, so listen twice as more as you talk and try to just soak it all in. That was a big thing that the guys would always tell me is just take it all in because professional wrestling is just a roller coaster of ups and downs, and you have these super great moments and not so great moments. So just take it for what it is and enjoy the ride.
Now that's great advice because both been in this around obviously this business and different aspects of it, but there's a lot of people with bad attitudes
Yeah,
when they shouldn't
yeah,
have them. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah. No, I get exactly what you're saying.
saying? Awesome, awesome. All right, tell me about your first professional match. Who was it against, and what were your thoughts during your first match in front of a crowd?
I found out about this match about I think like a week before it had happened. So this was my, you know, you start, crapping your pants thinking like, oh man, like I'm actually gonna be in my underwear in front of a crowd of people. But then I
So,
was with a good friend of mine. His name's Chili Brown, and so
okay,
we wrestled in Strathroy, Ontario, in the Portuguese Canadian Club, and I think it was maybe like 50, 60 people. So it's not WrestleMania by any means, but I loved the match.
uh-huh.
My trainer Tyson Dukes, he had agented it and helped us put it together. So it was not as flawed as it would be if it was just the two great minds of two trainees putting together their first match.
Right,
But yeah,
okay. Um, I want to get into this next before we go into other stuff. We got the Chosen tryouts coming up this Saturday right here in New Jersey at Italian Championship Wrestling, featuring Sonny Ono, Perry Saturn, and the Tokyo Monster. One lucky person to be chosen to go to Japan. Tell us about your experience with your Chosen One tryout and what it led to.
so I found out about that tryout, that chosen one tryout. It was in St. Paul's, Minnesota, and St. Paul's is about like a 14, 15-hour drive from where I am. And the owner of the company, not Sunny or Perry Saturn or Tokyo Monster, but her name's Caitlin Diamond, and she owns Ironheart Pro, which it was like the joint Ironheart Pro chosen one
Okay.
gimmick. And so she's Canadian. And
Mhm.
so again, Canadians helping out Canadians. She's like, hey Bryce, I know we don't talk much, but it'd be awesome to just get more Canadians at this tryout and try to give us more of a chance because, you know, it's so rare for Canadians to go and get opportunities because it's so much harder for us for whatever reason with that imaginary line at the border and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But so basically, me and my buddy hopped in a car. I drove night and day throughout America to get to St. Paul's, Minnesota. Slept in the back of the van to get there and save money, and then showed up at the tryout, and you know I did my best. Uh, like help set up the ring, you
Right.
know, do everything, and yeah, it was such an amazing experience.
Awesome. Now, how many people were in that initial that tryout you were at? About.
I want to say about like 2025.
Okay. All right. So out of that whole group, you were chosen. No pun intended.
Hmm.
Now, I was sent this picture. There you go.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, man. Um, now talk about when you went to Japan.
Hmm.
Tell me about your experiences there, because everybody wants to know. Because that's
Yeah.
the number one question that I've asked. Well, probably about 200 wrestlers I've interviewed at this point that they want to go
So
to.
the wrestling there is absolutely phenomenal. But so when I first got there, it was the most hectic travel day because it's like a 13-hour time difference for where I am. And so
Yeah.
you're now supposed to be awake when you're used to be sleeping. And so I show
Right.
up and it was a pure fever dream of like, oh man, I'm really across the world right now. And then I'm
Right.
like, we show up to the arena or whatever where the bus would pick us up because I had just caught the tail end of their Yokohama Budokan show. So then it's like, huh, I guess that's Yoshitatsu right there. Huh, I guess that's fucking, so on and so forth of Japanese
Wow.
legends. And then it's like, okay, I guess I'm here. And then the training was phenomenal. It was almost every day. It's just such more of a brotherhood and like and they treat it so passionately and just so it's just their love of wrestling is just unmatched anywhere else in the world.
Awesome. Now, talk about the training you actually had in the dojos. What was that experience like?
It was
Was it intense? Because a lot of
it,
people say
it
it's intense.
it was pretty intense, but I'm a glutton for punishment, so it didn't really bother me. I was just kind of like on my David Goggins, who's going to carry the boats and that sort of thing. So then I'm just loving every second of it, and the feeling afterwards when you know that you've done something great and knowing that you've accomplished something that not many people would be able to do, and you're doing that daily. It's you're getting that adrenaline junkie that all of us wrestlers have, and then it
But
kind of fills my cup.
what about the kind of food you had over there? How was that?
I ate at a 7-Eleven almost every day. It
Really?
Yeah, it was
I didn't
the
even know it was
food.
7-Eleven over there.
They have I read some that they have more 7-Elevens in Japan than they do in America now, which is crazy to
Really?
think about. But yeah, but
Wow.
so like their convenience stores are a whole different ball game. So they
Uh-huh.
have like all proper food in their convenience store. So it's not like, you're not grabbing like a bag of pepperettes or like, some lousy like chips or something. Like they just have like really good microwavable food that's like actually good for you. And then
Really?
my apartment was near this Italian restaurant so that you could get like, these little like these pizzas for like I think for you guys it would be like $7 US for like a medium pizza. And it
Right.
was like phenomenal pizza. Yeah, the
At
food there,
McDonald's?
like
Oh, no, at
McDonald's,
the
I didn't
Italian.
check out what's that?
No, I'm sorry, the Italian restaurant. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but like super cheap. There's Hakiniku, like little Korean barbecue places, and that was like I think $30 US for all you can eat for an hour. And
That's not bad.
like, yeah, not bad at all. And yeah, it's like everything there's so cheap, and everything there
Awesome.
is just they take their health like more seriously there, I think. So like the food quality is so much higher, and you feel like you're actually like eating real food, which is kind of nice.
Not like over here. You eat that 7-Eleven pizza, it's like cardboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Now were there chili cheese at hot dogs at a 7-Eleven?
Yeah, but they don't have hot dog rollers there. They have they're all like bagged almost, like not saran wrap, but they're properly packaged. So like you see like the little chili cheese dogs and like all of these different sandwiches and stuff that are just ready to go because everyone in Japan is just so on the go every day.
That's awesome. All right. We got a question from you for you. What are your top 3 or 4 wrestlers you want to have a match with?
Oh, that's a great question.
Okay.
Um, well, last night I was just at Maple Leaf Pro,
Oh,
so I was like infatuated with all of the great wrestling there. So
yeah.
Tom Latimer, NWA champ currently.
Heavyweight champion. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gabe Kidd. I'd love to have a match with Gabe Kidd. And
Okay.
then Michael Oku as well, that from the UK Rev Pro guy. Is amazing.
Wow. MLP is really huge promotion
Yeah,
up there.
yes.
Up
Yeah.
there, yeah. 100%. All right. What about over here in the United States? Let's talk about like some independents you wanna have a match with.
Ooh, think Kevin Blackwood.
Okay.
Kevin Blackwood, he's one of my favorite wrestlers, and he's such a great guy. Um, Trying to think of more. Ryan
Uh,
Clancy, fancy Ryan Clancy,
Fancy Ryan
if you're
Clancy.
aware,
I know who he is.
and then
Yeah.
Channing Thomas as well. I think
Okay. I know who he
those
is.
three. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Tell me about your thoughts on the WWE ID program.
I think it's a great opportunity for all of these guys. Like I think there's a guy like my age in it, Baylor. I can't remember
Brad
his
Baylor.
name. Brad Baylor, yeah. So he's doing that, and like it seems like everyone's killing it. Like and them bringing in like Evolve again, I think is a great opportunity for everybody. I feel like as
Huge.
much as as much as it's seen as kind of like a cherry picking type thing with if these guys get over, then WWE gets first dibs, but then it's also like they're willing to make the investment as well into these guys,
Yeah.
and other companies just aren't willing to do that at the moment. So I think it's like, yeah, I think it was a phenomenal idea, and Gabe Sapolsky's a really great dude as well. So I think that they just nailed it.
I was lucky to attend one of his seminars last year at Wrestling Is Now, and blown away by some of the what he was teaching to the class. I'm like, it made me see the business differently. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because as a
Well, you got
podcasters don't get to go to see that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I want to learn everything as much as I can to help me be better as a podcaster.
Hmm.
And just to sit, I was like amazed. I couldn't like not pay attention to him. Like, some people be on the phones. I was just paying attention the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. I was the same
Which
way
is
in his
awesome.
seminar. Just that
Yeah.
1,000 yard stare. And
Yeah. Did I want to hear this question, but he's doing a seminar over here in Long Island coming up at NYWC because they're doing the WWID showcase talent stuff,
Mm,
which I'll go over a little bit later. But yeah, man, I'm hoping to sneak into that class too.
sweet.
All right. Did you run to almost from WWE? I heard he was training over in Japan.
No, so he went back to America, or uh yeah, he went back to America in like January, I think, like after their first show or their New Year's show. So he wasn't there when I was there, but all the guys miss him. So I hope he comes back because he was like their Andre,
Right.
but he's like the size of Andre too. So
Yeah. He's really good. They need to use him more over there.
yeah, yeah. Well, they need to use him more, period.
Yeah, right. In general. Yeah, I mean the reason they took him out was like they were gonna supposed to use him more over here, and then they didn't use him. So it
Yeah,
made no sense.
yeah, no.
All right. You've been to the number one pick in Japan to go train. Where else would you like to go in the world that you would like to learn from and perform?
I think Mexico. Mexico would be a good place for me. The UK scene, all like a lot of the NXT UK guys, former
Yeah.
NXT UK, they come over to Canada a lot, and I've loved every single one of them. Like me and Trent Seven have became good friends. Me and Amir Jordan, Eddie Dennis, Wild Boar
Wow.
Hitchman. I'm friends with all those guys. Flash Morgan, Webster, Mandrews, like
Wow.
all those boys. And so I would love to just get like more of a piece of their training ideology there, and as well in Mexico, because when I was over in Japan, like I was training with Galeno a lot, and Daga and those guys, and Galeno comes from like a full wrestling family in Mexico, and
Right.
Daga, I don't know how if you watched a lot of him, but he's an absolutely phenomenal talent.
No, but I'm gonna have to check them out for sure. Um, Companies you want to work for. We won't talk about the big companies, like huge
Mm.
companies that you haven't worked for yet. Which companies would you like to perform at?
I'd love to do something at TNA. I'd love to do something bigger at Maple Leaf Pro. I'd love
Oh,
to do something big at like obviously like I'd love to work with everyone. I just want to, as much as I
want
want
to?
to get signed and make the money, I want to be a journeyman as well and just, work for
Yeah,
everyone and do so much.
yeah. We got to get you into the ID tournament somehow.
I know, I know.
I mean, you have great experience and you got some great mentors. I don't see why you couldn't. All right, Serena's back. If you could give one piece of advice to the wrestlers who are trying out for this Saturday's Chosen One tryouts with TCW, what would you say to them?
Okay, and this is something that my trainer had taught me when he went to Japan. And so basically, during the workouts and during everything, you just have to no sell it. If they're making you do so many like X amount of squats or X amount of high knees, you just need to be straight faced. Like a lot of the Japanese training, it's meant to try and break you down before it is trying to make you better.
Right.
So take that for what it is, but you just have to, don't give anybody the satisfaction of you like bent at the waist, like huffing and puffing. Like you just have to no sell it. If you're told to get water, or if you're allowed to go get water, you're literally you gotta go get water and then be the first one back. Um, it's always yes, sir. It's always
Right.
um, just be like I feel like common sense goes a long way in professional wrestling, but I feel like common sense also doesn't exist as much nowadays. And I'm sure
No.
you feel that as well.
Yeah, I see
But
it.
it's just like I remember when I did my tryout, and so we had to build the ring, and so it's like all these guys like, and this isn't to bury anybody at this tryout, but it was like I'm just like, oh man, this why is everyone having such a time putting together this ring? And then it's like yeah, and then like don't touch the ring. Don't touch the ring unless you're told to. Don't change like some guys were like changing in the ring and some guys were like putting their boots like sitting on the apron. It's like sit on the floor. Just don't touch the ring because it's a respect thing. And yeah, just common sense. Just
It's
be
like
a like be a
when you wipe your
soldier.
boots. It's like when you wipe your
Exactly.
boots before you get in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert says it sounds like the military.
It sounds like yeah, it's exactly like the military for fake fighting. But
Awesome. Did you get a chance to work at any of the promotions out there? Like have matches?
Um, I didn't get to work at any, but I watched a few shows. So I went to a Stardom show, I went to a Sentinel show, and I went to Keno's he does a show, Keno Channel. I went and
Right.
watched that. And then I also went to Kenta Kobashi's Fortune Dream. So I got to see like four phenomenal shows.
That's great. Man, I wish I could go see one. Go to those shows myself, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you've got the chance, everybody, make sure you try out this Saturday. It's very well worth investing in your future, right? Chosen One tryouts this Saturday at Titan Championship Wrestling. And we'll go over it a little bit more after. I just want to get to know Bryce a little bit better. Favorite food over here, home.
What's that, sorry?
Favorite food you like to eat here at home?
Oh, a nice steak. They have steak in Japan, but you gotta pay like so much for it. I just want like a nice little 8 ounce strip loin steak, some
Nice.
potatoes, just a meat and potato guy.
That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. What was your toughest match to date, including your
Um,
experience overseas? And who was your opponent?
of this match, okay. There, my match at Karakwin Hall pops into mind, and it was the first time it was me and a guy named Null versus
No,
Daikyo, yeah,
I know him.
Daikyo Dashima
Uh-huh.
and Kazuki Fujita. So Kazuki Fujita is like a shoot fighter. And I remember I was
Oh.
talking to one of the foreigners in the back, and they go, "Yeah, man, like, did you know his head is like scientifically proven to be like thicker than a normal human's? Like something like that. He's like this crazy like rhino." And
uh,
we get in there, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna die." And I didn't, thankfully, but I definitely left limping. That was
right.
cool.
Best advice Sonny Ono gave you.
Uh, Sonny
Who's
Ono just he's he's such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so grateful to have a guy like him in my corner.
yeah,
But he was just like Bryce, just please keep your head straight. Don't get in trouble. Just don't be a trouble like don't be a problem child. Just,
yeah,
just be a normal human. And I understand why, because Sonny Ono picking me like this
yeah.
20-year-old kid to go over to Japan. And
You're
then
representing him.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then so he's like, there's a lot riding on this of to keep his contacts, and so I'm like, no, like I wasn't like a big partier while I was there. Didn't really like just kept my head straight, kept my nose to the grindstone when it came to training and when it came to anything outside of the ring. Like I was more focused on just being a better wrestler while I was there, and Sonny Ono really helped me keep on that path.
okay. Um, in the United States, which part of the United States would you like to go to first like have great matches?
I've never even wrestled in the States. So
Really? I
I would
thought you
love,
did.
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
All right.
I
That's
the
okay.
only I only it's so tough for Canadians to get over that border sometimes for whatever reason. Like I guess because they technically say that we're stealing Americans' jobs if we go and wrestle on an indie for $50, but
All
we're
right.
really destroying your economy. I'm sorry. I would love to come to New York, like a Beyond or Limitless pops into my mind. West Coast Pro is doing some really great stuff. Deadlock Pro Wrestling is doing some really great stuff. Like I just again like sound like a broken record. I would just love to be just like a journeyman, work for whoever wants me and show them what I can do and how I'm valuable and hopefully a bigger company sees that sort of thing and then I can,
Yeah.
you know, get out and get money and live happily ever after.
Right. Make those connections and keep grinding.
Yeah.
100%. Anybody out there that are owners, friends of mine, keep Bryce in mind if you're looking for some great talent who has actual great experience going to Japan. Like not that many people say that they've had that kind of training and experience out here. So keep Bryce in mind, everybody. Man, it's been such an honor and a privilege talking to you. Is there anything else you want to let everybody know about Bryce Hansen?
I'm back home now. I'd love to do more in the States.
Welcome
So,
back.
like you said, just everyone, please keep me in mind because I just want to have great professional wrestling matches and show the world how much I learned while I was in Japan and from the help of Sunny. And again, check out that Chosen One's tryouts this Saturday. And like, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like Perry Saturn is such a great mind. Tokyo Monster is such a great mind. Sunny is he is the man, and
He is the man.
it's such a great opportunity that it's unheard of and it's coming back now. So it's like you don't it's not a work, it's not gimmicked. I drove 14 hours on a hit or miss of me going or not. I had never spoke to Sunny before in my life. Um, just be a good worker, be a good person, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah. I'm hoping that you're going to be at the show Saturday.
I hope so. Sunny messaged me about it potentially, so I really hope that
Okay.
I can get out there.
Awesome. Before we go, Raw wants to know if you're a face or a heel.
I am a good guy. I am I am
I
a
can
white
tell you're
meat
a good
baby.
guy.
I'm too Canadian. It's too nice. I hate even if I ever have to be a bad guy, I hate it. Because it's like, I gotta like I'm actually just being mean. Like,
Two more questions. In Canada, who would you like to have a match with, a Canadian wrestler?
Josh Alexander.
Okay,
Hands
that's
down,
awesome.
Josh Alexander. Or I don't even think I'd be able to hang with a Kenny Omega, so I would just say Josh Alexander.
Okay, both are doing great things in AEW. Just
Yeah.
saying. And then, what does the rest of 2025 look like for you?
An open book. Me and Scott Demore are gonna talk soon about what I can do for Maple Leaf Pro, and then
That's awesome.
I'm just gonna hope that I can go back to Japan at some point and continue that grind. And
Yeah,
yeah, I'm a
and that
independently contracted wrestler, so please feel free to email at thebrycehansen@gmail.com.
that's right. Make sure everybody emails Bryce Hansen at gmail.com. And what another great mentor to have, right? Scott Diamore.
Hmm.
Another great mentor for you. You're just surrounded by greatness. So that's awesome. The owner of Titan right here, Billy Betsky. Hi, Billy. How are you? We're just going to talk more about the show Saturday. Good luck, of course. All right, this Saturday, we got the Chosen One tryouts. Trust me and trust Bryce that this is a great opportunity for you to participate in. Even if you do not get selected, you're learning from three great minds right here. So definitely go to Titan Championship Wrestling to register for this great event. And at night, oh my gosh, look at this match. Rise of the Titans, this whole card, 100%. Main event, PJ Savage takes on all-in-one Michael Fain for that TCW champion. Amity LeVay takes on JC Storm for that Goddesses champion. You got the TCW Lightweight Championship, Andrew Paulino versus Justin Bon Jovi. It's going to be crazy. The Audacity versus the Brother Gray. Jack Martins and Harry Turjanian versus Tony Francescacini. This is a long time coming. We got the return of Nikos Ricos versus the Brooklyn Outlaw Donovan, Anthony Gangone versus Junior Flo, Evander James versus the cause of it all, Joey Conway, the devil himself, and then, of course, the Pharaoh Face versus Rich Port Ayala. And you can't forget Robbie Romero versus Ben Castle versus Blocks versus the Chosen One tryout winner of that day. Bryce, isn't that awesome?
That's amazing. That's a
Good
great
stuff.
card.
That is a good card. Also, I got a lot of stuff going on, so it's going to be a little minute. This week, we have from Titan Championship Wrestling, the Zombie King himself, Junior Flo, at 8 p.m. this Tuesday. Monday, which is huge for Beyond the Barricade, we are doing an Owners Summit with all these owners from all these different promotions at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you come and check that out. You'll learn a lot of knowledge from the owners of different companies all over the United States, Bryce. This is just like one or two here in New York. This is like all over the United States.
That's awesome, man.
It's really good. It's my third one, and no one's doing this on the independent scene like I'm doing it. And I don't think they're even doing it like in the big leagues, like Chris Van Vliet or something like that. They're not doing it either. In June, actually, let me talk about this first. May 31st, I'll be at NYWC's Friend or Foe. Check that card out. From NWA Exodus, Man Bun Jesus will be in the house. And Kylie Page from the NWA takes on Amity LeVay for the Starlet Championship. And then in June, NYWC presents the ID Showcase featuring WWE ID title tournament matches on June 8th. Go to NYWC to get your tickets. Kylie Ray will be in the house, as well as Swipe Right, who are currently seen on NXT recently. They'll be in the house as well. And then in July 12th, I'm teaming up with NYWC, and we're presenting Rising Stars Women's Wrestling, first all-female promotion out here in Long Island. It's going to be great. So far, we got legit Layla Hirsch, Zoe Sky, Vicious Vicky Venuto, Amity LeVay, and from Chicago, Lulu Lorena making a first Long Island appearance out here. It's going to be a great card. And this Saturday, also, if you're in the St. Louis area, you're going to want to check out SICW's Fan Fest 3. My good pal Herb Simmons, owner of SICW, is having the Fan Fest again. SICW.org is where you can get your tickets. You can see all the great people who are going to be there for the Fan Fest. Plus, you have the Bill Apter Show Friday night, which is amazing. I was there last year. The Fan Fest itself, the St. Louis Hall of Fame, which is also amazing. And then the Bruiser Brody Memorial coming up later after that. And the winner will get the cup presented by Barbara Goodish, Bruiser Brody's widow. And that was a lot to say, Bryce. A lot to say.
Was a lot to say. Busy guy, busy guy.
Gotta keep grinding, right, Bryce?
That's absolutely right. And your work shows it. You're amazing, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, brother. Trust me, that means a lot. It's tough when you're doing all this stuff, even as a wrestler, and then you get a little bit like a praise from people here and there. It makes it all worthwhile, 100%.
That's true.
Thank you, and I hope to see you this Saturday. Hold on for a minute, everybody else. I'll see you at the Honor Summit. Have a great rest of the